here we go. Resting gently on the floor. Allow yourself to breathe freely. And maybe even you can notice how the movements of breathing, you can notice that they show up very clearly in some places, like the rising and falling of your belly or your chest. Or at your nose, your throat. But you can also notice the movements of breathing throughout your whole body. So let's do this in a particular way. What is very typical when paying attention to details in the body is to kind of narrow your attention, kind of get really focused in. And it's as if the seat of your attention was in your head, and you're kind of pointing your head or your eyes towards whatever body part you're trying to pay attention to. But that's a little bit effortful. So we're going to try something more effortless. And this is to have a more receptive model for paying attention. So just like you don't have to do any work to hear the sound of my voice, notice that it's the same for your body. The sensations of your body simply appear in consciousness, all of their own accord. So just as you hear sounds, and you don't have to do anything to hear sounds, in fact, you are helpless to hear the sounds around you. You cannot change them. You helplessly receive them. So it is with the movements of breathing, the physical sensations of the movements of breathing. So first, noticing, let's frame it this way, letting the most obvious physical sensations of breathing appear of their own accord in the space of consciousness. That's a bit of a mouthful, so I'll say it again. Letting the movements of breathing, the most obvious movements of breathing, letting them appear of their own accord, effortlessly appearing in consciousness. Notice the very simple fact that you are helpless to receive. You helplessly receive these sensations in consciousness. They simply appear by themselves. You aren't creating the sensations of breathing, and nor can you stop them from appearing. Even if you interfere with your breathing patterns, those sensations still appear all by themselves in consciousness. And notice again the difference between sensing the physical sensations and visualizing the breath. So in order to minimize the visualization of the breath, you can attend to your visual field, even with your eyes closed, letting your visual field be unified, very wide. Notice how both your visual field and your physical sensations appear in consciousness simultaneously and in the very same space of consciousness. Now let's begin to get curious about sensing the movements of breathing in your hips. Notice the difference between visualizing your hips and sensing the physical sensations. Think of it even as just letting these sensations appear exactly where they are, exactly how they are. Just noticing that you can feel them there. Do any of the physical sensations of breathing appear in your legs or even your feet? Letting your visual field be very wide as you sense your legs. And let's ask the same of your arms. Just noticing or letting any of the physical sensations of movements of breathing appear in your arms, if there are any there. And the same with your head. Noticing any physical sensations of breathing that arise, your face, your scalp, anywhere in your head, Again, without visualizing those sensations. And finally, let's just move your hands a little bit and notice how even these sensations appear all by themselves in consciousness. Even the sensation of volition, of being the doer of this movement, that appears in consciousness of its own accord. Okay. And then in your own time, you can open up your eyes, notice the space around you, and come on up into sitting.